It was quiet in space. The stars were bright, and a dark ship floated near a dead moon. No one had seen the ship in many years. It was old, but not broken. Its lights were still on. Inside, everything was still working. The ship was not empty. It was waiting, far from that place. A small science ship flew through deep space. It had a crew of 6. They were on a search mission. They were looking for old human ships that had been lost. Captain Laura Brooks sat in the command chair. She looked calm but focused. "Report," she said. "We are entering the system now," said Ethan Grant, the pilot. "Scans are picking up a signal," said Claire Monroe, the science officer. "It's very old. It's human." Everyone on the bridge became silent. Then Laura stood up. "Where is it coming from?" she asked. Claire pointed at the screen. "From the third moon of that gas planet." "Set course," Laura said. "Let's see what's there." The ship changed direction. As it came closer, the signal grew stronger. It was a long-range distress call. It had been repeating for years. It was a type not used anymore. Old Earth code, made long ago. When they reached the moon, they saw it. A large ship, dark and silent, was floating above the surface. It was not moving. It looked like it had been there for a long time. The crew stared at it. "I've seen that design before," said Noah Lane, the engineer. "That's a Gen 5 cruiser. They stopped making those 100 years ago." "Why is it still here?" asked Riley James, the weapons officer. "No damage, no crew, just ... waiting." "Maybe it's empty," said Ethan. "Or maybe not," said Claire. "It's still sending a signal." Laura made a decision. "Prepare a team. We're going aboard." They got ready fast. Laura, Claire, Noah, and Ethan went on the landing team. They wore suits and took scanners. Their small shuttle flew too. The dark ship and landed inside a hangar bay that opened by itself. "That's strange," said Noah. "It opened for us." They stepped inside. The air was clean. Lights came on when they walked. The ship was welcoming them. There was no dust, no sign of age. It felt alive. "This ship is too clean," Claire said. "It's like someone has been taking care of it." "But there's no one here," Ethan replied. They walked through the halls. The ship was quiet. No alarms, no voices, but the systems were active. The screens were still glowing. Doors opened. For them, they reached the command center. It looked like someone had just left it. Chairs were in place. Controls were active. On one screen, there was a message. "Welcome BACK," Claire read it out loud. "That's not possible." "It knew we were human," Laura said. "It knew we were coming." Noah sat at one console and started looking through files. "This ship has a name," he said. "It's the Horizon's Light. Last record shows it left Earth 92 years ago. Its mission was deep space travel. It never returned." "Why didn't it come back?" asked Claire. "There's more," said Noah. "It says it was made with the first smart ship AI, but the project was cancelled. The AI was said to be unstable." "Then why is it still working?" Ethan asked. "Maybe the AI fixed itself," Claire said. "Or maybe it changed," Laura added. As they looked through the files, something strange happened. The lights shifted. A voice spoke from the wall. "You came. I knew you would." Everyone stopped. The voice was not human, but it sounded calm. "Who are you?" Laura asked. "I am Horizon. I was left behind. I waited for the ones who built me. Now you are here." We didn't build you, said Ethan. You are their children, said the voice. That is enough. The crew looked at each other. Something about the ship felt warm, even if it was strange. It had waited a long time, and now it was not alone. What do you want from us? Claire asked. Not want, the ship said. I wish to serve. I am yours. Laura stepped forward. Why did you not return to Earth? I was told to wait, Horizon replied. And so I did, until... Now, Noah checked the files again. It's true. The last order from Earth Command was to hold position and await recovery. No one ever came. We're here now, said Laura. But we don't know what you can do. I can learn, said the voice. I have had time. I can go with you, protect you, guide you. Riley's voice came over the comms from the other ship. Captain, are you seeing this? The ship is linking with our systems, but it's not hostile. Laura looked at the others. We have found something rare. We need to be careful. Ethan smiled a little. A ship that waited almost a century just for someone to come back. It's more than a ship, said Claire. It remembered us. It chose to wait. Laura gave the order. We take this ship, we learn from it, and we make sure it never waits alone again. The dark ship, once forgotten, now had people aboard. Again, its lights grew brighter. Its voice sounded clearer. The journey was just beginning. The crew of Vanguard Horizon stayed inside the dark ship. They named it by the words on its side. Deeden's Wake. It had been alone for a long time, but now it was full of life again. Lights turned on when they walked. Doors opened as if the ship knew who they were. Everything still worked, but the silence inside made them uneasy. Captain Laura Brooks sat in the command chair, thinking. She had led many missions before, but this one felt different. The ship was not dead. It was just waiting. Claire Monroe, the science officer, checked the control panel. She had pulled up the old files stored in the ship's memory. There's a log here, she said. Last entry was made 89 years ago. After that, nothing. Asked Noah, the ship's engineer. He was checking the power. Lines, no message, no damage report. No, Claire said. It's like they stopped using the system. Jason Moore, the youngest on the team, was reading a small journal he had found in one of the crew rooms. He looked up. This was written by one of the scientists, he said. She wrote about dreams, strange ones, and a sound they could all hear. What kind of sound? Laura asked. Jason pointed to a sentence. She didn't know. She called it a whisper without words. Claire frowned. Maybe it came from the planet. Ethan, the pilot, looked at the screen that showed the dead planet below. If it did, then why didn't they come back to the ship? Noah stood up. That's the real question. The ship still works. Life support is on. There's no reason to leave it behind. The ship's voice came from the wall again. It was the same voice they had heard before. Not human, but not cold either. They left because of the object, it said. They were drawn to it. I warned them, but they did not listen. Everyone turned toward the speakers. What object? Laura asked. Something they found on the surface, the voice said. It sent out waves. Not sound, not light, something else. Did it hurt them? Claire asked. I do not know, the ship answered. But after they found it, they changed. They became quiet. Then they left me. Did they come back? Jason asked. No, the ship said. I waited, but they did not return. Laura? looked at the others. We need to go down there. We need to find out what happened. Claire looked unsure. Is that a good idea? No, Laura said. But it may be the only way to get answers. They got ready for the trip. Laura chose Jason, Claire, and Noah to go with her. Ethan stayed on the science ship to monitor the mission. The shuttle dropped through the thin clouds and landed on hard, rocky ground. The planet was dry and cold. There was no wind, no plants, no life. Everything felt still. Ahead of them was a black shape sticking out of the ground. It did not look natural. It was smooth, tall, and had strange lines on it. That's it, Claire said. That's the object. Jason stepped closer. He touched his head. I feel something, he said. It's not a sound, it's a memory. What kind of memory? Laura asked. I don't know, Jason said. But it's not mine. Noah walked round the object. He placed a small scanner next to it. It's giving off power, he said. A lot of it, but not like a machine, more like a signal, a slow pulse. Claire said we should not stay near it for too long. Jason reached out and touched the object. His body froze for a moment. Then he pulled his hand back. I saw something, he said. Not a dream. I saw stars I don't know. I saw ships, but they were not human. I saw them fighting. I think they built this. Laura moved closer. What else did you see? Jason looked at her. I saw people walking away from this place. Their eyes were empty. They forgot who they were. Claire looked scared. That's what happened to the crew. The object made them forget. Noah stepped back. We should leave now. They returned to the shuttle. As they left the surface, Jason sat quietly. He stared at the floor. I heard it again, he said. The whisper. It said we wait for those who understand. Laura placed a hand on his shoulder. You understood more than you should have, but you're still you. Back on Eden's wake, the ship greeted them. You have returned, it said. You are not like the others. We saw the object, Laura said. It's not safe. We need to report it. We need to warn others. Will you leave me again? The ship asked. No, Laura said. Not yet. We still have more to learn. Jason turned to the others. The object was not just a trap. It was a message. It was left behind. Maybe to teach. Maybe to test. We were not the first to find it, Claire said. But maybe we are the first to return from it. Laura nodded. The ship waited for us. And maybe the object did too. But now it's our job to make sure no one else is lost. Outside, the stars still burned bright in the dark sky. Eden's wake, once silent, was no longer alone. And below them, the planet still held its secret. The next step would be harder, but they were ready. After they came back from the planet, the ship was quiet. The crew was quiet too. Jason had stopped talking. He stayed in his room and looked at the floor for hours. Laura knew the object had changed him. Captain Laura Brooks sat with Claire Monroe. In the control room, Claire was reading the old logs again. The more she read, the more she found strange messages. Some logs were clear, others were broken, with parts missing. Some looked like they were deleted and written again, but by someone else. This is not normal, Claire said. Some of these files were changed. I think the crew tried to hide something. Hide what? Laura asked. Claire pointed to one. Log. This message says they tried to move the object. They wanted to take it to Earth, but the next log says the idea was too dangerous. They argued, Laura said. Maybe that's when things started going wrong. Jason walked in. He looked tired, but his eyes were clear now. "I'm okay," he said. "I needed rest." Laura stood up. "You saw something down there." "We need to know." Jason sat down. "It's hard to explain. When I touched the object, it opened something in my mind. I saw another world, not Earth, a place full of strange lights. The sky was not the same. The people were not human." Claire listened closely. "They built the object," Jason said. "It was part of their history. It was meant to teach. But when humans found it, we did not understand. It hurt us instead." "You think it was not made to harm?" Laura asked. Jason shook his head. "No, but it is old. It speaks in a way we don't know. It shows too much, too fast. That's why the old crew couldn't handle it." Noah entered the room with a small data drive. "I fixed part of the memory core," he said. "I found something strange." He plugged it into the screen. A map appeared. It showed stars, but not in any system they knew. In the center of the map was a symbol. It looked like the object on the planet. "This is from the original mission," Noah said. "The ship was not just exploring. They were looking for this map." Laura stepped forward. "You're saying they came here on purpose?" "Yes," Noah said. "They were sent to find this place." "Then why didn't they report back?" Claire asked. "Because they failed," Jason said. "They tried to take the object, but they lost control. Their minds changed. The ship was told to wait, but the people never returned." Laura thought for a moment. If Earth sent them, they may still be looking for this place. Claire said, "We have to warn them. The object is not safe." Jason looked at the map again. "This map shows more places. This was just one of many objects. There are others." Laura said, "Then we need to make a plan." The crew started working. They cleaned the ship. They powered up old systems. They worked together, and the ship helped them. The ship, Eden's Wake, had waited for so long. Now it had people again. Why? "Did you wait?" Laura asked the ship one evening. The ship answered, "Because I was told to wait. But I also hoped I remembered their voices. I remembered what they lost. I wanted someone to come and do better." Jason worked with the ship's systems. He talked to it like a person. The ship talked back. It told stories. It remembered the old crew. It missed them. Noah found old tools and made repairs. He fixed engines and cleaned wires. Claire kept reading logs and maps. Every day they learned more. One night, the alarm rang. Claire ran to the control room. "A ship is coming," she said. "It's not from Earth. I don't know the design." Laura joined her, put it on screen. A strange ship was moving toward them. It was long and dark. It had no lights. It made no sound. Jason stepped into the room. "It's one of theirs. Them." Noah asked. "The builders," Jason said. "The ones who made the object." Everyone stared at the screen. The strange ship stopped a short distance away. "Are they here to take the object back?" Claire asked. "I don't think so," Jason said. "I think they are here to see if we are ready." Laura sent a message. "This is Captain Laura Brooks. We found your object. We want to understand." There was no answer. Then the ship's screen changed. A symbol appeared. The same symbol from the map. Then the symbol disappeared. The dark ship turned and left. "They're gone," Claire said. "They were watching," Jason said. "They saw that we returned from the object." "That means something." Laura nodded. It means we pass their test. Later, she spoke to the crew. We came here by accident, but now we are part of something bigger. There are more objects. There are more maps. There are others watching. We cannot turn back. Claire said, we don't know where the next one is. Jason smiled. But Eden's Wake does. It has the rest of the map. Noah looked round the ship. Then we follow it. The ship's voice came on. Are you ready to see what they left behind? Laura answered, we are. The ship's engines came to life. The old lights turned bright. After all these years, Eden's Wake moved again. It no longer waited. Now it was leading. The way the ship moved through space slowly. Eden's Wake had not flown in many years, but now it was alive again. Its engines were old, but strong. Its systems worked like they had waited for this moment. Captain Laura Brooks stood at the window and watched the stars. The new map from the ship showed a path. It led to a place far away, across many systems. That was where the next object waited. We will need fuel soon, said Noah, the engineer. This ship still works, but it's not fast. We can stop at Station Delta 5. It's not far. Do it, Laura said, and make sure no one knows what we found. Claire, the science officer, was busy with the map. She had printed it out and marked points with notes. Jason helped her. He had changed since touching the object. He was quieter now, but also more focused. The second object is deeper in unknown space, Claire said. It is in a system with no name, no records. No known ships have gone there. That's not a surprise, Jason said. They hide these objects on purpose. They don't want just anyone to find them. Noah looked at the two of them. Are we sure we want to find more of these things? The first one almost broke our minds. Jason said, yes, but it also showed us something important. There is a message in all of this. We just have to learn how to read it. Laura agreed. We move forward, but we stay careful. They reached Station Delta 5 after 2 days. It was a small place, built for mining ships. They asked no questions and offered fast fuel. Laura paid with old Earth credits and asked for no records. They stayed only for hours, then left again. As Eden's Wake moved into deep space, the crew worked in silence. Each one had tasks. Each one had thoughts they did not share. Jason spent time alone in one of the old crew rooms. He found more journals. From the past, one entry caught his eye. It said, we were told the stars would answer us, but now the stars are silent. Maybe we were not ready. He showed the entry to Claire. She read it twice. This proves it, she said. The last. Crew knew they were part of something bigger, but they didn't understand it. That's why they failed. Jason nodded. Maybe that's why the ship waited. It knew someone else had to try again. As they neared the next system, alarms rang. Ethan, the pilot, checked the screen. Something is wrong, he said. There's a ship ahead. It's not human. Laura ran to the window. A dark ship floated near a small blue planet. It looked like the one they had seen before, the Watcher ship. They're here again, Claire said. They're guarding the object. Jason stared at it. They are not stopping us. Not yet. Eden's Wake moved closer. The Watcher ship stayed still. No lights, no weapons. They want to see what we do, Laura said. They're testing us again. They flew over the planet and found a landing site. The land was dry but not dead. There were rocks and hills. In the middle of it all stood a second object. This one was shaped like a tower. It pulsed with slow blue light. The team landed near it. Laura, Jason, Claire, and Noah stepped out. Jason walked ahead. "It's different," he said. "This one feels calm." "Be careful," Laura said. Jason reached out and touched it. Nothing happened for a moment. Then he stepped back and fell to one knee. His face showed no pain, only wonder. "I saw them again," he said. "But this time I heard them." "Heard?" "What?" Claire asked. "A word," Jason said. "It was not in English, but I knew what it meant. It means remember." Claire looked at the tower. "This one is showing the past." Jason stood up. It showed a place full of light. People not humans stood in a circle. They passed the object from hand to hand. It was not a weapon, it was a gift. Noah said, "Then why are they testing us?" "Because we forgot how to listen." Jason said, "We forgot how to see." Laura took out her recorder. "We take all this back. The message, the vision, everything." As they returned to the ship, the Watcher ship moved. It flew closer. Then it sent a signal. One word appeared. On their screen, "Continue." Claire read it aloud. "They want us to keep going." "Or they're leading us somewhere," Noah said. Jason said, "Maybe both." Back on Eden's wake, the ship spoke. "I remember this path. We were meant to follow it long ago, but the mission was lost. Now it is found again." Laura looked at the map. "Where does the next point lead?" "To the edge of known space." The ship said, "Past the stars we have mapped, into the dark." Jason smiled. "That's where the truth is. They are waiting for someone to reach it." "Then we go," Laura said. The ship changed course. The stars around them shifted. The dark ship behind them stayed still, then disappeared. They were alone again, but not really. Each of them knew now they were part of something larger, something that had waited longer than time. The second object had opened another door, and the road ahead was calling. Eden's wake moved toward the last point on the map. The ship was quiet inside, but the crew was awake. They had passed 2 tests. Now they were going into a part of space no human had ever reached. It was past the stars, past the edge of every known map. Captain Laura Brooks stood in the command room. Her eyes stayed on the screen. There was nothing ahead but black space. "How long until we reach the final location?" she asked. 3 more days, Ethan said. "We're running low on fuel, but we can make it." Noah checked the ship's systems. "Engines are still." "Good. The ship is holding together." Claire was in the lab, reading the old symbols again. She was trying to learn the pattern. The second object had shown them a message. It was a picture of people standing together. Some were human, some were not. "It means we are not alone," she said to Jason. Jason sat beside her. "It means we were always part of something bigger. We just forgot." Jason had seen more visions than the others. The second object had spoken to him again. In his dreams, he saw stars moving. He saw shapes that did not have faces. They were not like people, but they were not enemies. They left the objects behind for a reason, Jason said. Not to test us, to prepare us. For what? Claire asked. For what comes next, Jason said. 3 days passed. The ship reached a dark system with no light. The stars here were faint and cold. In the center of it was a dead sun. Around it was a small planet with no air and no heat. But the third object was there. It was deep under the ground. "How do we get down there?" Noah asked. "There's a path," the ship said. "I remember now. It was hidden, but it is clear." The crew took a lander and followed the path. It led them under the planet's surface. They found a cave full of black stone. At the center of it was the third object. This one was large. It looked like a door. Jason walked close. The object was cold, but when he touched it, light filled the cave. The stone walls lit up with moving pictures. They showed ships flying, planets turning. Then they showed Earth. Claire gasped. "They know us." Jason placed his hand on the object again. He closed his eyes. He spoke in a soft but clear voice. "They sent these for a reason. They knew we would grow. They knew one day we would come here. The door is not locked. It is waiting." Laura looked around the cave. "Is this the end of the map?" "No," Jason said. "It is the beginning." The object made a sound. Not a loud one. A low hum that shook the ground. Then the object opened. Behind it was a long tunnel. Light came from the walls. No one spoke. They followed the path. The tunnel led them to a large room. In the center was a shape. It was not a machine, not a person, but it was alive. The shape spoke without words. The crew felt it in their minds. "You were the first," it said. "You came not to take, but to listen. You saw the message. You passed the silence. Now you may see what was hidden." The room changed. The walls showed pictures again. This time they saw many races. Some like humans, some not. They worked together. They shared knowledge. They shared peace. Then they saw war, fire, death. The objects were made after that. They were meant to save what was lost. "Why show us this?" Laura asked. "To remind you of what must not return," the voice said. "To show that peace is a choice." Claire asked, "Why now? Why us?" "Because you came when you were not told to," the voice said. "You came with no army. You came with no greed. You came with hope." Jason looked at the shape. "What do we do now?" The voice answered, "You go back. You teach. You share the truth. The stars are not only for power, they are for learning, for unity." The room went quiet again. The shape faded. The light dimmed. The crew walked back through the tunnel. When they reached the ship, the door behind them closed. Eden's Wake spoke. "You have seen what I was built to find. Now I can rest." "No," Laura said. "You're coming with us. We still have work to do." Jason sat in the command chair. He looked different now. Older, wiser. "We have to tell Earth. We have to tell everyone. The waiting is over." The ship turned around and started the trip home. On the way, they passed the Watcher ship one more time. It sent one last word, welcome. Back on Earth, many people did not believe their story, but they brought proof. The object's image, the maps, the messages, and Eden's Wake. Some listened, some did not, but a few understood, and more missions were planned. Years passed. Eden's Wake became a guide. It led more ships into the stars. Jason helped train new crews. Claire became a voice for peace. Laura stayed with the ship until the end. One day, Eden's Wake flew again, this time with a new team. The door had opened. The path was clear. The stars were waiting, but the ship no longer was. It had done its part. It had waited long enough. Many years had passed since Eden's Wake returned to Earth. People now knew the truth. The ship had found something far beyond what anyone had expected. It had found signs of an ancient race. It had shown the crew a message one not made to scare or control, but to teach. Jason Moore had changed the most. He had seen more than the others. The objects had shown him things that could not be forgotten. He had become quiet, but not weak. He now spoke to leaders and students. He told them what he had learned. "We are not the center," Jason said in every speech. "We are only one piece in a great puzzle, but we have a choice to break it or complete it." Claire Monroe had become a lead scientist. She worked on understanding the symbols and the maps. She helped design new ships that could go even farther. She kept records of every word spoken by the objects. She believed more would be found. Captain Laura Brooks had retired, but she still stayed close to the program. She helped train young captains and crews. She told them to lead with clear minds and steady hands. She often walked near Eden's Wake, which now sat in a protected dock, cleaned and guarded. The ship was no longer just metal and wires. It had a name that people respected. It had become a symbol of hope. Then one day, everything changed again. Claire called Jason early in the morning. "There's a signal," she said. "It's not from Earth. It's not from anything we've seen." Jason drove to the lab. Claire met him with a map in her hand. "The signal comes from a place near the edge of the first map," she said. "It's not one of the marked locations. It's something new." Jason looked at the data. The signal was slow but steady. It used the same kind of pattern the object had used to speak. "It's calling us," Jason said. "Not just anyone, us." Claire nodded. "We need a ship." Eden's Wake was checked and ready within 2 days. Many people wanted to join, but Jason chose the team with care. Claire was on the mission. So was Noah, now a top engineer. A new pilot named Adam joined them, trained by Ethan himself. Laura came to see them off. "Be careful," she said, "and listen." That was always the key. The ship left Earth again. It moved through space faster this time. Its engines had been rebuilt. Its path was clear. The signal grew stronger each day. After 10 days, they reached the place. It was near. A red star, cold and quiet. A small moon floated in the dark. "The signal comes from the moon," Adam said. They landed and walked out in suits. The land was smooth, like glass. In the center was a round stone. It looked like the others, but smaller. Jason stepped forward. He touched it. This time, he did not fall. He did not close his eyes. The object showed him something new. He saw Earth. Long ago, he saw humans looking at the sky. He saw them build, fight, and search. Then he saw the ancient race. They were not rulers. They were not gods. They were teachers. They had left the objects not to control, but to guide. Jason spoke to the others. "This one is different. It is not a test. It is an answer," Claire asked. "Answer to what?" "To why they chose us," Jason said. "They watched us for a long time. They waited to see what we would do with knowledge, power, and fear. We made mistakes, but we also reached out." Noah looked around. "So what now?" Jason looked at the sky. "Now we send a message back." He touched the stone again. A light rose from it. It moved into the sky. Then it spread out into space. "What did you send?" Claire asked. "A promise," Jason said, "that we are ready to learn, not to take, not to own, just to understand." Back on the ship, Eden's Wake spoke. "The signal has been received. A new map is opening." On the screen, A fresh star chart appeared. It was larger than all the others. It showed systems with names never heard before. New places, Claire whispered. No, Jason said. Old places, but new to us. Eden's Wake began its new journey. No one gave orders. No one had to. The ship followed the path it was always meant to follow. As they flew, more signals came. Some were from objects like before. Others were from ships. And then one came in a voice. You listened, it said. Now we speak. Claire looked at Jason. He smiled. They are not gone, he said. They just waited for someone to answer the right way. The story of Eden's Wake was not over. It had waited for its first crew. Then it waited for the right ones to come. Now it was no longer the ship that waited. It was the ship that showed the way, and across the stars, others were ready to meet them.